All right, this is a few things to watch out for with the Lug Bridge system. There's about three things that I see that can kind of cause issues. First of all is the channel that you see here. The Lug Bridge can actually travel north and south. And so what you want to do is make sure that the alignment with the Yamaha lug is equal distance. So you want the receiver of this to be the same height as the Yamaha lug. So just kind of eyeball those if they're there. And if you have it too high on the drum, of course, then you're going to get the bolts actually going to go in there, bottom out in here, and then it's going to snap off. So just make sure that this is aligned here. The top of these are the same distance, same height, if you will. The receiver on the Yamaha lug and this lug are in the same place. The second thing I see is the alignment. You can see that Yamaha lug swivels a little bit here, and that gives us a little bit of play as we tune the drums. And of course, the tension rod is able to come in at a little bit different angles as the hoop gets old and things like that. Well, what happens with this is a non-swiveling stainless steel part. So what happens is that if we don't align this properly from the get-go, and I'll show you kind of in here right there, that you can see in these channels, there's a little bit of play. So what sometimes happens, especially on the 3 and 4 drums, your outside drums that are connected to rails, you get a bit of skew. Now I'm doing this to exaggerate, of course, it's not this much, but if you feel grinding, you know, you're probably in the wrong space. So what you want to do is make sure that you tighten those bolts on the inside of the drum a little bit, thread this through and make sure that this isn't grinding when you get this on the drum. And if you feel grinding, just adjust the bottom a little bit here, this way or that way. You may want to loosen a little bit and just make sure that it feels nice and smooth as it goes in, and then tighten it down on the shell. The other thing you want to watch out for is that, you know, as drums expand and contract, especially in places with a lot of heat and humidity, you want to make sure that these bolts are tightened, because something I think that has happened a few times is that when these bolts inside the drum get loose, they just start to creep up from the tension of the drum. The tension that on the actual drum head is pulling the lug bridge towards the top rim. So what you want to do is make sure that these leg bolts, or these bolts inside of the drum, are tight at all times. Don't have to squeeze water, crack shells, or any of that kind of stuff. Just get them nice and taut. And you can even check the inside bolts. The bottom bolts on the Yamaha sometimes come a little bit loose with expand and contraction, but they're pretty reliable. And then the third thing is just make sure you got this nice and lubed up. It never hurts to use a little bit of lube on the rod as you insert it here. And then what I like to do is just, you know, kind of get a little on the, you don't have to smear the whole thing here, but just get a little on there. And then when you get that tension rod in, anytime you feel friction, just check your alignment, make sure that everything's good. And between the stainless steel rod, stainless steel receiver and the steel rod, you should have some smooth threads in there to go by. So those are the three things to watch out for. Make it a pretty maintenance-free experience with the Lug Bridge system.